Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. Good morning, depending on where you are in the world, where you're watching this from. Today is another episode of Empowered, where each week I get to sit down and interview top agents all over the nation and find out how they're moving their business forward. So today I am so excited to get to interview Miss Kaedi Worley. She is absolutely amazing. She's a ray of sunshine. She's got a faith-driven business, and she is just one of the most awesome people that I have met. So welcome, Kaedi. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Aw, that's such a sweet thing to say. Like, I'm moved by that. Thank you so much. I have a lot of respect, and JB is someone who modeled for me, I will say, for just it publicly, I will claim you taught me as a brand new agent that you don't have to be getting paid, or it doesn't have to serve you personally to serve other people and to help them grow and to answer their questions. You're somebody who has always taken the time for me when I had a panic text or call, like I don't know what I'm doing, and you had no connection to me, and you've always answered the call, always answered the question, and made me a better agent. So thank you. Now we get to work together, making everybody else's world better in the industry.
Thank you. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. That's what it's all about. When it's all said and done, it's about pouring in and helping other people, whether it's other agents or our clients. I mean, we are in a customer centered business, and it's got to be about them. So I think you do a really good job at that. Okay. So, Kaedi, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in real estate?
Oh my gosh, I'm sure everybody starts their real estate career at 38. Like a brand new, why not? Let's do something new. So my kids, I've always had like that bug, like one day I'll get it, kind of a bucket list thing. But life circumstances put me in a situation where I needed to do something.
Yes.
And my kids were driving to school, so I didn't have the 3 or 4 hours in the car every day that I'm sure some realtors, God bless them, have to do it at the same time. I didn't have to do that, but I knew I'm a all in kind of personality, and I didn't want to dabble. And so for me, I knew if I did it before the timing was right, then I wouldn't do it with excellence. And so this was a time that I needed to do something. And so I jumped in both feet, and it has been a wild ride. So I'm from Oklahoma. I've lived, I've moved away and come back. Lived in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I do have a touch of Alabama Crimson Tide fan in me. Don't hate me. I went to OU. They're my number one. But fun fact about me is I am a rare Alabama fan in Oklahoma. But anyway, side fact. But now that's me. I'm stepping into year 4 as a real estate professional in the Tulsa area.
Yeah, and I love how Kaedi downplays that a little bit. Her first year in real estate, she was the rising star of the company that she was with. So she came out with a bang. I like how you talked about you wouldn't be ready for the excellence. So I think when you come into any industry with that mindset from the very beginning, that really sets the precedence for one, longevity in this industry, because you've got to treat people right. You've got to have the right intentions behind that. But yeah, Kaedi came out year 1, killing it, rising star. She has continued to be a top producer. And I know, Kaedi, before you got into real estate, you were in a different industry. So can you kind of just tell everyone kind of what that transition looked like for you?
So I've had 3 major careers, which is ironic. I know you will say, because you have a long history in real estate. So I've been an athlete and a coach all my life. Whether it's youth sports or I've been a high school varsity softball coach. I've been around team involvement and building people up, that kind of like leadership positions all my life, plus earning your keep, showing up on time, knowing how to act, right? So that's been a lot of my shaping, my DNA. I was also an infant care nanny, I ran home daycares. So, which also is a lot like real estate sometimes.
Yes.
But it does teach you patience and teach you how to do things with organized, like you got to have systems to do that with excellence, right? So there's some things there. learning business, learning ups and downs of small business, that kind of thing. But I think also probably what applies in a biggest way to this, and specifically my latest career move to EXP, is I did have the opportunity to grow in an industry that I hate.
Yeah.
So I know that like MLM, it has like this buzzword, but I did get involved in a nutritional company that I saw that it's plant-based nutrition, and I saw that product impact my husband's health. And so I thought, like that's something, if I can help people the way that my husband, I really feel like it saved his life, then it's something I truly believe in, and it became easy to share. As I began that journey, then I started learning what it felt like and the reward to truly help other people, whether it was a health perspective, a financial perspective, or both. And I just, like, it lit me up. Like, it was like, it's the job I could do for free. And I don't just mean like selling stuff. I do have a sales history, and I worked at Mathis Brothers here in Oklahoma. It's like a huge furniture place, and they are like a boot camp when it comes to sales training. So I think that's a missing element in our industry, is actual sales training. But all of those things together led up to, I did have some success in the plant-based nutrition company. We went to Bora Bora. I had checks as big as $20,000. Like, it was a big thing. So industry that has a bad name, for me, my mind was a little bit open, and I learned the power of helping other people. And if you help enough people get what they need or what they want, you never have to worry about your own needs. And that changed my perspective.
That's right. When you say that, it reminds me of, I'm in a space right now where I get to interview top agents from all over the nation. A lot of my friends here locally in Tulsa are top agents. And the common denominator that I find a lot of times is, it really is the people who get it. It's more about truly, genuinely helping other people reach their goals. And I think when you have that heart and that intention, as a realtor, that bleeds over to your clients, and it blows up your business, because you're going into it with such genuine intention. It's not about the money. It's about genuinely helping. So that's one thing I've always loved about you, and it comes through in everything that you do. So I think that's awesome. So Kaedi, a lot of the listeners that tune into this, we stream live on Facebook, and then we also are on iTunes and Spotify, and also on YouTube. So a lot of the people tuning into this, they could be newer agents or even seasoned agents that, their business has kind of fallen flat, and they're wanting to know tips, tricks, and ideas how to move their business forward. So what are some keys to your success that you could share with our listeners?
As first step, as my kids would say, stay in your lane. It's easy to get in, especially if you're like you or like me, like that personality that is going to thrive in the industry where you're like I said, all in. It's easy to go, oh man, I'm going to pull stuff from superstar A or superstar B, or that was so inspirational, and I heard a talk at a lunch, and I'm going to start doing what they do. I see their signs this way, or I see their cards that way, or however they market themselves. Stop doing that. Like, you can dabble when you're trying to learn, like, to find out what you're good at. Don't invest more money than you should. Like, have some accountability and maybe a mentor or someone in the industry. That I really honestly think that the first year we really should have like a required mentorship, like a shadowing program, because you do need someone to bounce some stuff off of and not spend all your eggs in one basket. But I do think finding what you are good at, then being fully yourself against the opposition. Like my story, my training, and where I found my success was largely social media, doing video and educating and providing value that way, and reaching people that I had never met in person, that I was able to make an impact on and gain as a client and as a friend. I think that I did get a lot of pushback on that at first. Oh, that'll never work. Well, my latest $2.3 million listing came from that influence. So obviously those people that told me it wouldn't work are wrong. So follow your gut and get consistent. I think that's a big deal. Yes. Every single day doing something, even if you don't feel good, write it down, journal, vision about it, like whatever, every day doing something that touches that. Like put your hand on that every day consistently and do what you do well to the best of your ability. Invest in it, read books,
Love that.
go to training, like do that.
All agents are kind of guilty at some point in their career of like, going this way, doing that.
Mhm.
But I have learned at my most successful time, and it sounds like you have too, that you find that thing and you go all in, and it goes back to consistency. I teach a class every week at the brokerage that I'm with, and it is all about consistency.
Mhm.
And just keep doing it. It might not work at first, just stay the course and keep doing it. So I love that you said that. Any other advice? I know that you have done really well in social media. And I know that you and I are kindred spirits when it comes to the power of vision boards and journaling and manifesting things in your life. So any other tips or tricks that you could share with our listeners?
So before I sound like super Pinteresty, like on that, like it's easy to go, oh gosh, they're one of those people, especially when you feel like you've got the husband and the kids and the dog and maybe work a part-time job still, or like you're just trying to do that. If you're a new agent, it can be so overwhelming. Like, sure, when do I have time to play arts and crafts with a vision board, right?
Right.
Last year, 2020 was a year that I had a really sparkly, pretty vision board that I thought I'm going to go do all of these things. And I literally physically burned it at the end of the year, like set it on fire, burned it, started over. But also my vision changed, right? So some of the things that I thought were so important on that board were no longer important. I had to simplify and really get focused on what that is. But I also believe, like what you just said, you cannot hit a target you cannot see. So if I'm going to go to target practice and I'm going to shoot a bow and arrow or whatever my weapon of choice is, and there's no targets, how do I know if I'm winning? I have no way to track it. I have no way to. So even if you miss, or even if you don't hit it in the bullseye like you're planning on doing, you have to have something to go for. You have to have something to aim for. And I believe strongly in, like, meditation sounds kind of woo-woo, but really thinking, like, don't think one day I want to help the homeless people, right? Of course, we all want to help the homeless people unless we're just terrible human beings, right? So let's pick that subject. Like, what does that look like? Am I going to start a food truck that goes around delivering hot sandwiches and soups and blankets to people on location wherever they are? If so, what color is the food truck? What's on the menu? Like, what is the person, like when somebody comes up, what do they say? What do they like? And what does my person say back to them? Where does the money come from? Who are my partners in that? Like, start asking those questions and building that. Because let me tell you one thing, and I'll try to be really, it's really hard for me to not let God come into the conversations because he's done everything I owe everything to what God's done in and through me. But God's going to put those ideas in there. And if you start letting that be so real that you can see it, JB, when you know it that well, just like the voice of your kids or your husband, when you know it so well, you're like, that's it. This is what I've been waiting for. And it just fits in the piece. You don't have to go find it. If you know it that like so clearly in your heart down to the very minute details, then you can recognize it when it shows up and take action.
Absolutely. I've heard it. I had a real estate coach. I've been in coaching for probably the better half of the last 10 years. And I had a coach say he told me this one time, and it just stuck with me. And it's along the same lines that you're saying, but let's say that you and I were going to go to New York, okay? And if we said, well, Kaedi, I know it's like northeast of Oklahoma. Okay, well, if we didn't have a GPS that gave us step-by-step directions, now would we eventually get to New York if we didn't have that? Yeah, we would be like, okay, we would stop and ask people along the way. We would see signs. We would do all of this. But if we had the GPS coordinates, we would get there much faster, much easier, with a lot less headaches. So our goals are nothing different than those GPS coordinates. But you're right. They do have to be very specific. And you have to think through why you even, and I even take it a step further. You set your goals, and then you really have to chew on that for a little bit. Why are these my goals? Why is this? If I do this, what's going to why is that important to me? What's that going to do for my life?
Yes, the why that makes you cry. Because if it doesn't, it's not the why. Like, that's not going to drive you.
Yeah.
So you can sit here and say a lot of like, oh, this is wonderful. Look, can we be honest? Like the average realtor, national-wide, the average realtor sells 0 to 2 houses a year.
I know.
That's not because they don't want to. And some of it's because it's casual, or like maybe that's just their like part-time thing, or they're retiring, or whatever, all the reasons. But the majority is the people that are trying, that are not having that success, is because they're kind of flat. They're not laser focused on something that might seem minor. Like if that's just making sure you're showing up, making sure you're leaning into somebody who is producing, like what is it that's a missing link? And sometimes a 15-minute conversation, buy coffee for somebody, be brave, buy coffee for someone who is doing it how you wish you were doing it someday. And I promise you, I have never had somebody tell me no.
Right. I'm so glad that you said that, because I think that's one of the most important things for a brand new agent to do. Go find a top agent in your market, offer to take them to coffee, and ask them questions. Know your questions beforehand so you're prepared. But I've done that to a ton of agents over the years. I want to help agents and top producers who have all these secrets and tips and tricks, and they know they've been through it. They're going to give you some guidance. But I think that that's something that a lot of maybe lack of confidence, or, oh, no, they're not going to talk to me. They don't even know me. Go find these leaders in your market, take them to coffee.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said that, because that is such a good place to start.
I promise they didn't get there on their own. Somebody helped them. We're in an industry where we need each other. And every transaction, you are learning something on every transaction. Everyone.
And I will tell you this, even when I, maybe year 6 or 7, I was maybe doing $6-7 million in production. I was seeking out agents that were doing 20, 40, 50 million, because I had hit kind of a stopping point. So even at that point, I put my pride, my ego aside, and I said, okay, I need to get in conversation with people that are doing much more than me. And I would take those agents to coffee right here in Tulsa. And a couple cool things came from that. We became friends. And, just don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. So, always getting better. Always getting better.
Yes.
We're never arrived, right? I think that, especially in business, you're either moving forward or moving backwards, but you're never staying the same. No. Like what we do right now affects us in 90 days, right? Like you're always moving forward. And I think people are fueled by that sometimes. I just drove to Oklahoma City to talk to 2 brand new agents, and they did the same thing. So I drove an hour and a half to talk to 2 agents that I have zero benefit from, because somebody did that for me. And I want them to feel like they have help. And if you're in a position, if you're that brand new agent, you're like, I just spent this money, I just invested myself, and I feel like I'm floundering, I don't have help. Please change. You are in control of that. And it doesn't have to be your brokerage. It doesn't have to be we're all independent contractors. Find somebody that your gut is drawn to and go, man, if I could just have 5-10 minutes of your time, make it purposeful. Like you said, have the questions in advance. Yes. Because that's really helpful. But I think it could save you a lot of time and money, and it might not only encourage you, but as a secret to it is it might also encourage that agent that is kind of stuck in the kind of hamster wheel of what they're doing and has an opportunity to be fired up about what they do, because this is a fantastic industry.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Thank you for that, Kaedi. So, Kaedi, where can we see you in the next couple of years? I know that you've got a lot of things going on. So what do you think is in store for you in the next, let's just say, 5 years?
Oh, man. I am that vision board dreamer girl, right? And so I've had a number of experiences that put me in a position now that my heart is just, I wake up thinking about how to serve people. And that sounds Miss America. I don't mean it but you'll see these 2 pink doors behind me. That's literally nailed to mounted to my wall in my office, because it's part of the vision board, right? I keep it around me. So probably 2.5, like at the beginning of my career, I was on a team and I started understanding how the team concept works, and every single team is different.
Yes.
Some of them have it right and some of them don't. And every single team is different. But for me, I started because of my background in athletics and in the nutrition company. I'm like, I've yet to see a team that operates like how I would build a team. And it's not just about a team. Like that's there, you can go join any team. But I have a heart for a vision of ability to empower people and to teach those people as individual agents how to bring out that thing that only they have, and to take that to their reach, like their market is. Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors for a reason. There's 7,000 realtors for a reason. Like somebody wants to use you, but not because you copy 10,000 other people. Like they want to use you, but if they don't know you, they don't know you. So I have a ability to train and to coach and to teach that and to bring out your best you. So it feels like the pace of grace, like you're just flowing through life, serving people and making really good money for it. So I do have that, like that brand has been like kind of still, like I've been branding those things and building videos and all the Canva. I think I got a notification from Canva that I made over 250 designs. Like they were celebrating because I'm a Canva pro now because I've made a lot of stuff, but from folders to profile frames. So it's just plug and play. I've been working really hard on making a 1-2 click system for people that want to get started and they want an excellent brand and they want it to be them. I'm ready to help people get to that place. So whatever that looks like. Plus selling a lot of real estate. It's on fire. It's exhilarating right now.
I know it is. We're in a great market. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating. We are praying that, I'm sure agents all over the nation are praying that this spring we will all get some inventory.
Yes.
So, well, that's awesome. So I know this next question you kind of already answered, but what are some future goals that you see? I know that we briefly just talked about you building a team, and but is there any future goals that you would like to share with our listeners?
I think growth is important. So for me, each year my personal production has grown. I would like to see that double. I digress to say numbers because I know that's different in every market. So I have a number in my head. Remember that target thing, you can't hit what you can't see. Right. So I do think you need to know your numbers, and that's not just dollar numbers, right? Because right now we're in the beginning of February. It's Q1. I have 2.3 million already in production. But if I'm being completely honest, I've worked for the last year and a half for that. Right. So that's not like so the numbers can be skewed. So there has to be not just numbers, but how many units, like on both sides. So you need both of those goals. So in my short-term accurate business goal, myself personally, I want to double what I did last year.
Awesome.
That's a big deal. And that means I have to get on my horse and go get it. But that's where I'm going. There's accountability. Let's do this again a year from now. Let's see what happens. But,
yeah, I love that. Well, Kaedi, I really appreciate you being with me today and just sitting here talking with me and going all over the good stuff. If agents do want to reach out to you, get a hold of you for any reason, ask you questions, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Lord, I am all over the interweb. Like Google my name, and I'm proud to say there's at least 2 Google pages full of somewhere to find Kaedi Worley. Told you I could teach you how to do that, right?
Yes, you can teach me. That's not my forte. So
you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Like I'm so proud of what you've done on social media. Well, even this takes, you got to be brave and step out, but it's the shoe that fits you, JB. And that's what it's all about, is again, like just being yourself. And when you are willing to do that, the tools that already are inside you that God's already put there just kind of like illuminate, because it's like turning on the key. And when the key is the right key, it opens the door. And I'm just proud of what's happening for you because you're willing to step into God's purpose for your life at the right time.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. You know my journey. Not everybody does, but you know my journey, and it's been amazing. over the past 6 months or so. So
well, it is time, sister.
I know it's time.
So KaediWorley.com is my website, but most likely social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. I will be doing some tips. So if you just want to follow along, and the next content that I'm creating right now are short, like, obviously there's 60 seconds is a maximum length, but I will be doing some lighting stuff, some little tips like that help your stuff like teach you how to make a frame so it always says who you are, and reels and things like that. So we'll be doing some social media tips on there. So if you want to follow that on Instagram or wherever your favorite platform is, I promise you I'm there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kaedi. I really appreciate you having today. And I just want to end with, I know that there's all kinds of different agents listening to this and all different stages of their career. But one advice that I think I could, or one piece of advice I think I could leave you with today is just go do it. Go get an action. Go take massive action. If you've been sitting on an idea, you have that idea for a reason. Go and live out your dreams and make 2022 your best year ever.
Agreed. And find someone to tell about it.
Yes.
Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because now like this time next year, I promise you, JV will ask me if I've doubled my number. She'll say, remember when you said that? Because we need that. It makes us better. So yeah, I think take action. Don't just sit around and think about it. Vision boards are only as good as the people that actually use them. So that's great advice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in early this morning and getting on here with me. And I can't wait to see what this year holds for you, Kaedi.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Okay. Thank you.